guys, I'm Sebastian Rodriguez. This is my wife.
Christine, hi.
We are Ninth Island Connection. If you guys are watching this video, you probably already know that. We host and produce a television show that airs weekly here in Hawaii on KGMB as well as K5. We're also on 3 times a week on Your View, which is a Cox Cable Las Vegas channel, and it's channel 14. We cover stuff about Vegas, really try to highlight new attractions as well as some of the local businesses that have Hawaii ties that are now in Vegas. And because of that, we travel back and forth from our home here in Honolulu to Vegas quite frequently. This trip here was actually our 4th this year, 3rd since Vegas has reopened.
But the first that we didn't have to do a 14-day travel quarantine.
Yes, so that was great because the Hawai'i Pre-travel testing program is in place. And so we wanted to cover in this video our experience with the pre-travel testing program returning to Hawaii from Vegas.
So it's kind of a complicated thing. It sounds like it should be an easy thing, but it's not as easy as one would think it is. So we wanted to make sure that we clearly outline the whole process for you guys so it saves you any trouble, hassle, any issues, especially any issues when you get to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to travel.hawaii.gov and you need to create what's called a Safe Travels account. It's super easy. All you do is put in your information, and then if you already have one of those, then you just add a trip each time that you're traveling into Hawaii.
And it's pretty much just click and fill in the blank. Really, all you're doing is creating an online profile for the state of Hawaii where they can access the information that you share with them via that website.
Yeah, super simple, super quick. Just remember to do it. We had to put a little note in all our travel schedule to make sure you add the trip on there. The second step is going to be finding a trusted partner, and we'll list those on the screen as well. It has to be a trusted partner with the state of Hawaii. It can't be your own private insurance. We've said that in other videos as well, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. But there have been people that have come to Hawaii, unfortunately, with a negative COVID test, but it's not through a trusted partner, and they're stuck in their hotels instead of having a great time on vacation.
Even though they have a negative result. And because of this trusted partner, there's a specific test that they're doing. So the trusted partners know exactly which type of test you have to have before coming to Hawaii. We had a friend of ours that was with us that had signed up for a regular COVID test. Unknowingly, he just signed up for a COVID test. And when we got there, the 3 of us together, she informed him that the test that he had registered for was not the test that the state of Hawaii would use as a trusted negative result. So he could have taken the test, gotten a negative result, come to Hawaii, he would still have to quarantine for 14 days. We, or Christine, because she's the brains behind this operation, she signed us up for the correct test, and it was just a little annoying, and for him, he just had to reschedule it and go back the next day. So
what happened was we had the NAAT test, which is the test that you need. He had, I'm not even sure what the test is, but so we chose CVS as a partner, one of the trusted partners, just because it was close to where we were staying on the Strip. It was right, we were staying at the Flamingo, and it was located in a little strip mall just across from Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. So quick area to get to for us. So we chose CVS. And to avoid what happened to our friend, what you need to do is when you go on the CVS website, you're going to create an account and you're going to register and schedule a test. The first thing it's going to do is put all these screening symptoms questions. So ignore those. Even if you have symptoms, I mean, obviously when you're in Vegas, you're going to have a congested nose or maybe a sore throat from all the dry air, the air conditioning,
all the partying that you're going to be doing.
Yeah. So just ignore those symptoms, because that's how he ended up. He said, oh, I kind of have a cough, and it gave him a free test. Free sounds way better than $139, but that means you're going to quarantine. So just skip that, and what's going to happen is it'll prompt you to say you don't qualify for a free test, and then the next screen it'll tell you that you are able to get the pre-travel test option, and it'll say pre-travel test, and it'll say on there traveling to Hawaii. And so that's what you want to click. And you're gonna have to pay $139 for it, but it's in the long run, it's worth it, so you don't have to stay either in your home for 2 weeks or in your hotel or whatever your accommodations are for 2 weeks. You can actually just get back and enjoy Hawaii. But just schedule 2 days in advance. It's got to be within that 72-hour window of arriving in Hawaii, though. They're pretty good with getting their results back to you.
So this is where it gets a little complicated. So you want to have the test. You need to have the test at least 72 hours prior to your arrival, or within 72 hours.
I think ours was about 50 hours before our arrival.
So you want to be in a 72-hour window before you arrive in Hawaii. But you need to schedule the test about 2 days prior to the day that you want to take the test. So for example, we came back to Hawaii on Friday. We took our test on Wednesday. We scheduled the test on Monday, 2 days prior to the day that we wanted to have the test. So that's where you want to set a little alarm in your phone, set a reminder, send yourself an email, call the front desk at the hotel and ask them to give you a call and give you a reminder, because again, you're in Vegas, you're having fun, you're eating, you're just, you know, living the Vegas life while you're there on vacation, and you could miss these timelines, and it could kind of screw you up a little bit.
But the good thing is, once you actually schedule the test, they will send you emails, they will send you text messages multiple times to remind you of your appointment. So that one you won't miss out on, but it's just making sure you get to that point. So then for the test day, when you go to take your test, you need to have your driver's license or government ID with you, and the confirmation code that you would have in your text messages or email. They will need that. Everything is contactless. We drove up, and the pharmacy drive-thru has 2 lines. It has a pharmacy normal pickup prescription drive-thru and a testing drive-thru. Now everything is done contactless.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. So it's in the drive-thru and it's contactless, which means you have to be in a vehicle. You cannot just walk up to the drive-thru window. You have to be in a car. So if you don't have one, if you don't know someone, maybe your Lyft driver or whoever, rideshare driver, taxi, whatever, if you explain to them, hey, I'm doing a pre-travel test, would you mind waiting for a couple minutes? Keep that in mind as you're planning. You may need to rent a car for 1 day and get your test done then.
Or take the time and make sure you can find that rideshare driver who is cool and willing to take you through the drive-thru. Even though ours were scheduled apart, she actually was willing to just take all our information and then give the instructions once, because you actually do the test yourself. Nobody comes out and swabs your nose for you. She tells you how to do it, how deep to put that Q-tip up your nose,
1 inch,
swirl it around. Which in the test itself, I was like a little nervous because it looks so terrible on TV when you see like people jamming it back in their nose. But it was mildly uncomfortable and annoying, but it wasn't painful, at least for me.
And it was super fast.
Yeah. After the test, you'll get a link, and it expires in 24 hours. So it's important to go in and
create your CVS account.
Yeah. And so once you do that, that's where you can go in and you can check out your test results, which is what we had to do the morning of our flight, and found out, yay, we're negative. And now how do we upload these to the Safe Travels account? We had a little problem with that at the airport because we were just in the account. We didn't have an email yet.
Right.
So.
But we did have a text message, and in the text message, there's a link to your test result, which will be in the form of a PDF document. So you have to save that document as a PDF to your phone. The Hawaii Safe Travels program and the CVS do not communicate with each other at all. So don't expect that because you got your negative test result that it's going to magically appear in the Hawaii Safe Travels. They do not talk to each other. So it's very important that you save the document as a PDF to your phone. And then, so that step is done. The next step is you go back to the Hawaii Safe Travels program, your own account, your profile, where you'll have trips, travel, your profile information, and at the very bottom, there's a link that says upload documents. So you click on that link, and it's just like any computer program where you have an option to select files. So you go find the file in your phone, wherever you saved it, and you select it, and then it uploads to the CVS, or excuse me, to the Hawaii Safe Travels program. It's a little bit complicated and there's multiple steps, but once you're in there, it's super easy. You upload it once, it's done.
Yep, but you do want to make sure you have that on hand, like as a screenshot or just accessible through your email or through the app that you can also have as well through CVS. And make sure that because they may ask for that at the airport. They asked us to show our negative test result.
And we were able to show it right in the Safe Travels program. Now, typically, when they scan your QR code for your trip to verify your information, they should be able to see the test result when they scan your QR code. That wasn't the case for us. We, again, like Christine said, we had to show them our negative test result, but it was in the Hawaii Safe Travels program there in your profile.
Yep. And speaking of the QR code, to get that QR code, you need to fill out in that Safe Travels account. That's going to be your best friend throughout your travels to Hawaii. That Safe Travels account, you're going to go in and fill out the 24-hour health questionnaire. And once you fill out that, and then that's actually a pretty quick process in itself, they'll send you a QR code through your email. And you need to keep that QR code because that's what, when you get to Hawaii, that's what you're going to need.
So that's another checkpoint in terms of the timeline of planning your return to Hawaii. So 24 hours before you depart, you arrive in, or excuse me, 24 hours before you arrive in Hawaii, you need to do the health questionnaire. So that's another thing that you have to do before you get here, and you don't want to miss that step.
So what to expect when you get to Hawaii. Like we said, this is our third time traveling back into Hawaii since like the reopening and travel restrictions lifted, and our first time with the pre-travel testing. So we noticed on our flight, much fuller than the last couple of flights that we've taken into Hawaii, but still we're able to sit together. We noticed that a lot of people had their own rows to themselves or like on each end of the 4 seats. So it wasn't crowded. It was definitely not a full flight, but much fuller than what we had seen before. But masks are enforced. They encourage social distancing, but again, like we've said in our other videos, not all adults follow instructions. So it's, you just got to try to do your best to be safe and try to keep that distance from people. Once you get off the flight, you'll walk through a temperature screening, and then you'll get in line. There's
Expect
2 lines.
a long line.
Yes. There's 2 lines. There's like the short line for people who are okay with quarantining.
Yep.
That one was empty.
Nobody there.
And then there's the long line that we stood in, and we are actually like the middle of the line. So it was probably like a 20-minute wait for us. But
for us, and we were pretty close to the front of the plane. We were row, I think 26.
Something like that.
Something like that. So we weren't all the way in the back of the plane. So, I don't know how long they had to wait, but it was about a 20-minute wait, and we were about halfway in the line just because of where we were on the plane. It is first come, first serve. As soon as you get off the plane, you go make your way into the line. Like Christine said, temperature screening is automatic. They don't have the little gun things anymore. They have the cameras or whatever they have set up. So you pretty much just walk straight through there, get in line. There are plenty of people giving information, walking up and down the line, reminding people, hey, please have your QR code ready. Make sure you have your negative test results. So they are reminding you there, have your ID out. And we did see a couple of instances with people getting assistance in uploading the test result to the Safe Travels website for Hawaii. So there's plenty of people there. So don't panic if you feel like maybe you didn't do it right. As long as you have your negative test result, you did your 24-hour questionnaire, you have your Safe Travels profile set up, there will be people there to help you make sure that it's all together.
Again, the fastest way though is doing all the steps that we've talked about, having that QR code ready on hand along with your ID while you're in line. Once you get up there, show that, and it's a very quick process once you actually get to the front of the line. But please let us know if you have any questions about traveling to Hawaii. Comment. We're good at checking those and responding quickly, and hope that this video helps you guys.
Thanks so much, guys. Have fun and good luck on your travels.
Thank you.
So I have the time both of you do this box. We do that one by one, but I'm going to explain it first. Okay. So when you open your bag, you're going to see this part
date of birth on the test.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
This
good.
is the easiest way to get the swab out. We're just going to push it out like this. Like just hold one side and push the other side out. And pull it out all the way. So what we have to do is we have to put 1 inch inside the nostril. You don't have to put too much, otherwise you're going to start bleeding, okay? So just 1 inch, you will swab both sides of the nostril, swabbing for 10 seconds.
On each side, 10
Wait,
seconds.
just one nostril?
What's that?
Just one nostril?
Just 1 inch, yeah.
Okay.
10 seconds, one side.
Yeah.
Okay.
With 1 inch inside, and you're going to swab the whole nostril, okay?
Like, okay.
Okay.
Alright, whoever wants to go first, let me know. I'm gonna start
You
timing.
can go first, Chris.
I'll go first.
Okay, go.
How deep does it have to go in?
About 1 inch.
So just part it.
The
A
constant
little bit
part.
more, that's good. Now keep swatting it.
Ew. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.